You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio, where we talk about what is happening, breaking news as it happens, what it means, and why it matters.
Kevin McCullough, and here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obliterating confusion.
Amplifying truth.
And pursuing clarity.
Kevin McCullough, now.
So much to get to, and thank you for being here. It is a Money Monday. We will examine the markets as David Fisher rejoins us from Landmark Capital. Joy Pullman, the new-to-be executive editor at The Federalist, will weigh in on what's happening with Western civilization and teaching it in colleges. And we start with breaking news, the tragedy in Tacoma.
Binge thinking.
Kevin McCullough.
Something interesting is happening with this.
Kevin McCullough, let me start with you.
I found this thing at townhall.com by Kevin McCullough. The big dog has come out of nowhere.
Kevin McCullough.
I just want to help people think.
Nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
And he is playing the role as well as anybody could.
Kevin McCullough is a nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
The odds are he's right.
It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
A Fox News alert, a precarious situation in Washington state where an Amtrak train has derailed above an overpass, causing at least 6 deaths.
6 deaths, many other tragic outcomes for people as we are monitoring what has happened onto Interstate 5. They say as many as 70 people taken to area hospitals as the Washington state governor has now declared a state of emergency relating to that Amtrak track. Very, very discouraging, scary sight of this train that had taken, had lifted up off the tracks, and several of the cars falling down on the highway below. Interstate 5 is where we know that to be. And as you look at the pictures and see the pictures on your television, truly concerning. 42 in serious condition, 9 people in serious but stable condition, 11 patients in fair and stable condition, and it's unclear if there are not more that they don't have included in those counts as of yet. The train was traveling southbound from Seattle when it derailed, and the president weighed in on it as he spoke to a gathering to discuss national security earlier. He vows that one of the things he was sent to Washington to do was to basically fix the infrastructure. Cut 1.
Expressing our deepest sympathies and most heartfelt prayers for the victims of the train derailment in Washington state. We are closely monitoring the situation and coordinating with local authorities. It is all the more reason why we must start immediately fixing the infrastructure of the United States.
And he went on to talk about other things in that speech, but you could tell it was very much on his heart. Now, not long ago, the NTSB held a press conference, and the member Bella Din is saying that this train had followed normal procedure. They had taken an inaugural run with this and had not seen this problem. Cut 2.
We are aware of the fact that this was called an inaugural run of this service. But we want to check and make sure what that exactly means and find out more information about that.
Okay, so what she's actually saying in that soundbite is that people were saying this was the first time the train had taken that path. It is a new line, so there was some confusion over whether or not it had just not been properly tested and put into place. So we will continue to follow that for you, and if there's any more breaking news, we will bring that to you as well. Now, it's a very interesting broadcast we have in front of us. We're going to get into the markets on Mondays, as we normally do with David Fisher, a little bit later on. But between then and now, a very interesting conversation I want to have with Joy Pullman. Now, Joy is one of the really talented writers and also the current managing editor at The Federalist.com, but she's about to be promoted to the executive editor, not just the managing editor, and so happy for her in that regard. But she wrote a really interesting piece today at The Federalist talking about why we need to revisit the idea of understanding our history. And it's interesting. I don't think that people of faith, thoughtful people of faith, question this principle very much. Because people of faith, particularly Christians, particularly Bible-believing Christians, go to church week after week, and they re-study the world's greatest history text, the Scripture itself. If you have a well-versed pastor that is giving you meaningful sermon material, he's delving into the history, what it meant, why they said this word at that time, and in that particular culture, where it all came down at, et cetera, et cetera. But this is this concept of knowing our history, learning our history, retelling our history to the next generation and the generation that comes after them is something that has been, I would say, for the last 30 years, being systematically removed from public education. You literally have kids that have never heard of some of the most significant events in our nation's history. I was speaking with Brian Kilmeade earlier today. He has penned the new book, Andrew Jackson and the Miracle of New Orleans. It's a battle that shaped the War of 1812. And, I said flat out to Brian, most people don't know anything about the War of 1812. And if they know anything, they just know that that they saved the presidential portraits while the White House burned. But that's about the extent of it. Well, the War of 1812 was nearly as bad as the Revolutionary War and had much different challenges in terms of we nearly lost the country. The British reinvaded. They burned Washington, D.C. to the ground. But why does this matter, Kev? Well, there's lessons that we learn from history. And so why would we send our kids to schools, be they in elementary, junior high, high school, that don't teach history? Why would we send them to university that doesn't teach history? If we want to learn some of the most important lessons we can, we've got to know where we came from and why. It's really one of the major philosophical questions of the existence of man. Why am I here? What difference does it make? Well, we can't know that totally out of context. You can't find that. You can't be born in a bubble and live in a laboratory and come to know that fully. You have to obtain information and knowledge about what has come before you and what is expected to come after you so that you know what part you play. I'm pretty passionate about this. Anyway, we'll have that discussion with Joy Pullman, and I think that she will be enlightening on that as well. Back to the president real quick. He did give a speech earlier today, and he made some promises. The lottery programs that we've seen the last two terror attacks kind of occur from, he says those are coming to an end. Cut 3.
This strategy recognizes that we cannot secure a nation if we do not secure our borders. So for the first time ever, American strategy now includes a serious plan to defend our homeland. It calls for the construction of a wall on our southern border, ending chain migration and the horrible visa and lottery programs, closing loopholes that undermine enforcement, and strongly supporting our Border Patrol agents, ICE officers, and Homeland Security personnel.
That is pretty straightforward, but it's obviously got his attention, and he is now pressing forward on that. He also talked about how the economy ties into national security. Cut 4.
The second pillar of our strategy is to promote American prosperity. For the first time, American strategy recognizes that economic security is national security.
So that's all going to be linked together. The economy is working well. The tax reform package, by the way, this weekend got unified, so both sides are on the same page now. That looks like it's going to get signed this week, which would be prior to Christmas, per keeping the promise that was made as well. And that's all good news. That's good news to head into the holiday weekend with, for sure. So, yeah, that's the latest. We'll keep you up to speed on anything else that takes place. Now, there's a couple of other big stories that I don't know if we will have time to fully flesh out this hour. But one of the real devastating things over the weekend was revealed that Linda Sarsour, you remember Linda Sarsour? She's the pro-terrorism Palestinian activist that sides with the jihadists instead of the free people. And she was invited to speak at the City University of New York's graduation program, and she's invited to do this and that. She's invited all over these places. This is really interesting what she's being mentioned about today, because it is being reported by the Daily Caller and by a reporter by the name of Benny Johnson that Linda Sarsour, who is a co-founder of the Women's March, decided that she would that she would overlook and protect men that were sexually harassing and assaulting women, Muslim women, in organizations that she worked for in past years. And when someone came forward and said this isn't right, she threatened their job and evidently kept them from getting other jobs when they applied after leaving her employment. Just another big piece of information. That's you can read more about that at the New York Post today as well. Anyway, Kevin McCullough, The Importance of Western Civilization, Why It Matters. Joy Pullman joins me next. Stay with us.
Gift giving is easy this holiday season with Capalbo's Gift Baskets. A family-owned local landmark for over 110 years, Capalbo's makes fresh fruit, wine, and gourmet gift baskets, holiday towers, and now organic baskets too. Get free shipping on more than 100 different baskets, all backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Use code AM570 and save 10% today. Order online at capalbosonline.com or call 800-252-6262. 800-252-6262. It's Capalbo's.
Hi, Kevin McCullough. Are you just sick and tired of carrying around weight that you don't want to have? I know that feeling, friend. I know how uncomfortable it is to look in the mirror and see things that you don't want to see. But the good news is I've got a way to guarantee you the results that you're looking for. 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, guaranteed. That's what my friend, Dr. Carrie Skorsky of the Bay Ridge Holistic Healthcare Center will promise you if you call today. 844-THE-DIET. Think about it. Those pounds guaranteed to be gone. It's 100% customized to just you. There is no hunger, no cravings, no drugs, no prepackaged foods. It's doctor supervised. You eat real food the entire time. 844-THE-DIET. That's 844-THE-DIET. Call right now. Get your guarantee on to get your weight off. 844-THE-DIET. That's 844-THEDIET. Or go to anewyouin40days.com. That's anewyouin40days.com.
Remember the last market crash? Maybe you lost 30, 40, 50% of your savings. Maybe you cashed out your retirement account just to pay the bills. Well, here's something you might not know. Since then, the market has gained over 250%. But most people haven't seen even half those gains. Instead, they're seeing below average performance on the way up with no protection against a market crash. But here's the thing. With the right education, you can learn how to protect up to 95% of your money even if the stock market went to zero while enjoying profits if it keeps going up. For the past 2 decades, Online Trading Academy has helped people around the world learn how to generate income, whether the market goes up, down, or sideways.
I came to Online Trading Academy before I retired because I wanted to prepare myself for retirement and have the confidence to manage my own money throughout the rest of my life.
Call 888-920-6823 right now to sign up for a free half-day class near you. You'll also get our free Wall Street Insider Kit. Register now. Call 888-920-6823. That's 888-920-6823.
Are you looking for a Christian learning community that's accessible, affordable, and academically excellent? Nyack College is a uniquely Christian environment in the heart of New York City, where students discover an education that's spiritually, practically, and professionally invaluable. To find out if one of Nyack's undergraduate, graduate, or seminary programs is right for you, visit them at nyack.edu or call them at 877-626-2236. 877-626-2236. Register now for the spring 2018 semester.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm doing great. I'm loving the balance of nature. I don't know, my hair feels fuller. I think my skin looks nicer. I do see like improvement, and I'm a very energetic person even with type 2 diabetes and everything. I always feel pretty good. So this is really, I think I even have more energy on this, which is great. Some products are, just phony products, and they just tell you. But the people from Balance of Nature, when you hear, like I listen to the radio show so many times, and I'm like, what am I waiting for? Like, I should just try it.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code The Mission.
Hi, Kevin McCullough here. In this economy, wouldn't you like to consolidate your home equity with your first mortgage, or maybe get rid of credit card debt, or do a number of other things to relieve the debt pressure on your family finances? Mike and Brian at Intercontinental Capital Group are ready to help you. Give them a call at 800-300-8919. In addition, with home values rising, Mike and Brian want me to let you know that you can also eliminate your PMI, private mortgage insurance, and they're here to help. 800-300-8919 is the number. Call them today, 800-300-8919. That's 800-300-8919. Intercontinental Capital Group, licensed mortgage banker, equal housing lender, NMLS 60134.
You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio, coming to you live from the Connors and Sullivan Broadcast Studio. As it happens. You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio.
So glad you're with us, Kevin McCullough, and reminding you that if you have not yet done so, this is the final week to register for the Lord's Diamonds Diamond Giveaway, the Christmas Diamond Giveaway. That's coming up at the end of the week, and you have to be registered in order to win. And if you have not yet registered, please call Alex at 888-340-3373. Give him your name, your email address, your phone number, your mailing address, the serial number of your youngest child, your husband's Social Security number, and your deposit account from your bank. I'm kidding on the last few, but we do need your mailing information so that we can send it to you if you are, in fact, the winner of the beautiful diamonds from Lord's Diamonds, my first and longest sponsor of Kevin McCullough Radio. Anu and the team at Lord's Diamonds have been providing incredible engagement and wedding rings for people for all these years, and just doing a fantastic job. You can also email directly and register that way, kmcradio@gmail.com. Put diamond in the subject line, and then put your mailing information in the body along with the name and phone number. All right? And then again, at the end of this week is when we draw that winner. I was doing as I much regularly do, and that is perusing all kinds of opinion editorial this morning. When I can't sleep, I pull up on the phone, I start looking at what people are saying and what they've written, and my brain starts going over the different things of the day and the things I want to discuss. And then earlier today, I had a chance to sit down with my buddy Brian Kilmeade from Fox News, who in the 3 books he has published have all focused on rather lesser-known events in American history and the impact that those have had on us. And as I was having that conversation with Brian, I was struck again with the reality that the importance and the teaching of Western civilization, particularly at the college level in America, is something that, at least to my impression, has been greatly diminished and reduced in recent years. Someone else who is written about that just today at thefederalist.com is a frequent guest here at Kevin McCullough Radio, Joy Pullman, and she always has such good things to say in every one of her columns, but she particularly struck a tone in a note with me on this today, and she rejoins us today even though she's fighting just a touch of that same cold that everybody has. Hello, Joy.
Hi.
When you published today's piece, there's probably actually going to be very few people that say, oh, yeah, Western civilization, something we should discuss more. But it actually is it not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because especially if you read the American founders, they believed, and I agree with them, that we basically cannot keep America going as it is unless there is very broad knowledge among the population of our history, of what kind of ideas and habits led to the kind of character that distinguishes America from the rest of the nations on the earth. So, and I think a lot of people recognize the fact we all feel that we're losing something precious to our American identity, to our American heritage, and we don't want that to happen, and we don't know exactly what to do about that. But I do think there are some concrete steps that folks can take to help kind of be part of a much-needed cultural renewal to kind of uphold our duties as citizens to have the knowledge and the capacity and the habits of self-governing to keep America that kind of unique nation.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the way it once was. Western civilization was a kind of cornerstone study, I believe, of almost any liberal arts degree that you wanted to have at the bachelor's level. When did it begin to start kind of evaporating from the curriculum, and what's the explanation as to why?
Well, I think the real big kind of degradation of the traditional liberal arts curriculum, and that is just the idea that there is a body of knowledge that every educated person should be exposed to and have experience with, thinking through the great questions that people have grappled with throughout time, that helps produce people who are going to be good citizens, good fathers, good mothers, good businessmen, people who can make good judgments and have good virtues in life. So that used to be a really important thing that colleges and universities saw as part of their mission. And that was most openly attacked and began to disintegrate, of course, in the 60s and 70s, kind of campus radicalism that explicitly, I view it actually as at its core anti-American, and explicitly said we don't believe and that there are moral or even knowledge absolutes. We can't know what the truth is. And so therefore, we are reduced to living inside this kind of Marxist power structure. And so their critique started then, and they have gradually worked their way out to the point where it's very rare for any college to have a coherent core curriculum that it offers to students. So colleges have kind of turned into this cafeteria kind of melange of not thinking consciously about helping create educated citizens, as well as, productive citizens, of course, and kind of specific technical pursuits. But there's very little attention paid to, again, what it means to be a citizen, what it means to, what your duties are, what your rights are, and how you ought to go about defending them.
Yeah. It's one of my real pet peeves with the modern university and the fact that we are losing courses in Western Civ, and yet they are adding things like lesbian poetry and the pornography, film history, and other things that are really, when you get down to it, Joy, I'm sorry, in the day and age in which we live, accusation and assault on every level, it seems to me we're doing a lot more to destroy culture than to preserve it or to build it, and it kind of is all just on the most base. Or even if you're not in those kinds of classes, it's like what is practical and perfunctory, but not necessarily complex or sophisticated. And I think that we lose when that is the case.
I absolutely agree, and I think that the fact that we focus, if the school does anything that is of any value at all, so not, gender studies, criticism, kind of wasting students' time sort of pursuits, underwater basket weaving, that sort of thing. So when schools do anything that is worth anything, so pre-professional kinds of technical studies, I'm not against that either, but I think that also does reflect the fact that we have lost the sense that we agree that there is a shared moral basis on that applies to everybody. We can't even say basic things like, it's better for people to be honest than dishonest. You shouldn't cheat your customers, your employees, and so forth. So we have a culture that is really dedicated to tearing things down. Again, and I don't think everything about the West is great or perfect, right? But I do think that we have to be able to say that there is a good and there is a bad to be able to even look at history at all. You
have to. We're speaking with Joy Pullman, who's going to stay with me one more segment because she says there's some practical things we can do. Let's uncover those together and find out what they are. And she's going to start an adventure that's kind of cool as well. Let her tell you about that in terms of revisiting these issues in her own life. Kevin McCullough, this is Kevin McCullough Radio. Do not go away.
Suffering from back pain? The Brooklyn Spine Center is here to help. Listen to Dr. Robert Zaloom, cardiologist, Lutheran Medical Center.
My story actually goes back 20 years. I remember one incident lifting a box of heavy books and something snapped in my back. I was in so much pain and almost desperate. I said, I got to try something. So I came here. They took me right away. And the first day I had a treatment, and I couldn't believe in just one session, I already had 50% relief of my pain. In 2-3 weeks, I was pain-free. It was, for me, a miracle.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keller, director of the Brooklyn Spine Center. Through non-surgical spinal decompression, we have been able to give our patients their lives back and offer them an alternative to painful injections or risky surgery. Please call us. If we can help you, we will tell you, and if we can't help you, we will tell you that too.
Say hello to the Brooklyn Spine Center and goodbye to pain. Call 718-475-9438 or brooklynspinecenter.com. That's brooklynspinecenter.com.
From the studio that brought you miracles from heaven and cloudy with a chance of meatballs comes The Star.
That light, that's the star. This is where it's been leading me.
We've come to honor the new king.
What's his name?
His name is Jesus.
Experience the family event of the holiday season.
Do you guys like frankincense? I never know what to get.
The Star. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing. For tickets and showtimes, go to thestarmovie.com.
Mom, what company did you use for your new blinds?
We used Blinds.com. Easy and affordable. Plus, they'll send you free samples, and every order gets free shipping.
Wow, okay.
They even remade our blinds for free because we didn't measure correctly the first time.
Perfect. Thanks, Mom. Smiley face.
Now through December 24th, enjoy great savings site-wide, plus a guaranteed 20% off when you go to Blinds.com and enter promo code SHUTTERS. That's Blinds.com, promo code SHUTTERS. Rules and restrictions apply.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
Get your friends, family, and coworkers together for a group outing to an Islanders game and make the night extra special.
Bailey over the flame line, drops on Tavares, walks in, shoots and scores!
With one of our fan experience packages, like high-fiving the Islanders as they make their way onto the ice.
Billy Aggies in alone, score!
Call 844-ISLES-GP or visit islanders.nhl.com/groups to learn more about creating unforgettable memories.
Jesus Book and Gift Store has the gifts to reach your family and friends this Christmas. Gifts that make Jesus the reason for the season. Hundreds of books reduced 50%, movies and music at $5, and the newest study Bibles at great prices. Come and have a cup of coffee on us and enjoy some inspirational music and movies. Jesus Book and Gift Store has 2 New Jersey locations, Route 22 in Greenbrook and Route 1 in Island Woodbridge. Or shop online at JesusBookandGift.com.
You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio, coming to you live from the Connors and Sullivan Broadcast Studio. What you need to know when you need it. Kevin McCullough Radio.
Why does Western civilization and the history of what happened in that part of the world matter so much, and why aren't we studying it anymore? It's part of the curious things that is on my mind as I look and see what our universities are turning out and why our kids don't know anything about history anymore. I am grateful for people, friends of mine, that have gone into writing about periods of history and have tried to preserve some of that. But until we are teaching that, in the basic levels in the classrooms again, I just think that we're really missing the boat in a lot of ways. And it's not just in college. It's starting to trickle down into the high schools and junior high and even elementary programs that are, depending on where you're in the country, adopting some of these ideas about their curriculum. Joy Pullman is the managing editor, soon to be executive editor of thefederalist.com. Congratulations, Joy. I just deemed you a promotion. Go with that in peace and have a happy time with that. But the truth, you highlight this in your piece today, in which you encourage people to understand Western Heritage 101. And you said in the last segment that you had some ideas about how we can kind of take the bull by the horns and start to reinstitute this in our own lives and communities. What are some of those things that you would suggest that we do?
Well, I actually think it's very simple. I mean, there are things that you do at any good college, but again, aren't really being done because there aren't very many good colleges. It's reading and conversation. Those are the two, ways that, you develop an intellectual appetite and you explore your intellectual depths. And that's actually something, so the reason I wrote the article today is I'm kind of starting a series. I'm a Hillsdale graduate, so I took the Western Heritage course there in person, but they put up a bunch of, their basic courses online as lectures, kind of like iTunes or Prager University. So I'm listening to that series of lectures and writing about it, and that's one way I've been thinking about it kind of as a way to keep my mind going, so it's easy for me just to kind of put everything on autoplay, but if I'm not feeding, my ideas and nurturing my mind, then it gets stagnant, and I think that's true for anybody. So, there's a list of books and excerpts and things to read there if you want ideas of book lists, but you really could just Google, 100 best classic books, and start picking ones off the list that sound good to you. I mean, but as long as you kind of, I think as a New Year's resolution, it's maybe a good time to do that, but you basically say, I want to do a little bit more thinking, digesting, and then I always find a lot of benefit from talking about ideas with friends. Invite some people over, on an evening, have some cookies, have some tea, whatever you like, drink some bourbon, and talk about the things that you're reading together. It's really simple, and people really, really enjoy it, and I come away from that feeling really fed intellectually and emotionally.
Okay, that's for our personal development. Let me ask you about some practical things that we might be inclined to do for the lower levels of education that we can influence more. Obviously, the university is going to do what the university wants to do, and it's going to be largely shaped by, badly enough, government policies, and if it's a public university, and or donor concerns to the level that they are impacting those types of things. But for parents that have little ones, I've got a 7, 5, and 3-year-old. I want to put them into an environment where they are more naturally versed in these areas, and I don't want school to be a place where it takes it away. So what do you recommend that people in my situation do, particularly trying to influence the community itself?
Well, I think both for the small children, and I have a pack of small children, so this is something that I think about as a mom right now. But also, for your college students, you don't have to send them to the default or the, big name option. You can make a choice to consciously say, I want my kids to be in a school that's going to nurture their citizenship in a very broad sense. It's going to nurture them as a human being, not just treat them like a widget.
And I would recommend personally your alma mater, Hillsdale, Grove City College in Pennsylvania, and also Liberty University. I think those are 3 places that my listeners, if you wanted to know more information about a school that would really move them in that direction, I think those would be some good places to start. But go.
Right. There's also the Houston Baptist University. There's a Torrey Honors Program at Biola College. There's a number of very, they're small. There's fewer of them than, but there are enough out there that you can send your kids to them and get a good education. Yeah. But for the littler kids also, if you're also looking for things to help curate your children's intake of ideas, I recommend a number of sites that talk about books and ways to talk about them with your kids. So number one, for parents of kids, really K-12, is called Read Aloud Revival. If you Google that, it's basically this mom who has developed this site. She has webinars, she has plenty of free stuff on there, but you can also be, a member. And I have no connection with her. This is just me personally.
Read Aloud Revival.
Yep, go there, Google it up, and try her selections.
All right, that's a good tidbit, Joy, and I appreciate all the help. Congratulations on the promotion. You've earned it, at least according to me. And in a couple of weeks, you'll be the executive editor at The Federalist, which is still one of my favorite stops every single morning. Friends, get your opinion editorial there first. You'll be glad you did. Joy, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Kevin McCullough, Money Monday when we continue. The Christmas season is here, and I've got a special offer from you from our friends at Lord's Diamonds and my very good friend Anu. When you purchase any piece of jewelry from now through January 5th, you're going to get a beautiful Akoya pearl necklace worth $650. So whether you're in the market for an engagement ring, wedding bands, bracelets, pendants, earrings, you also get an Akoya pearl necklace absolutely free with your purchase. Lord's Diamonds has been a favorite of Kevin McCullough radio listeners for many years, and I've bought custom design pieces from Anu, and let me tell you, I do not go anywhere else, nor should you. Not only did Lord's work within my budget and give me some great ideas, but Anu with the follow-up and the caring, it's just unmatched anywhere. And now you'll get an amazing pearl necklace with your purchase. So call now to set up an appointment with Anu, 212-789-8500. It's like an extra stocking stuffer just for her. That's Lord's Diamonds, 212-789-8500, or online at lordsdiamonds.com, 212-789-8500.
Join Ireland's own Keith and Kristen Getty, known for modern hymns and carols such as In Christ Alone, for their 6th annual tour of Sing an Irish Christmas at Carnegie Hall December 20th. The Gettys are joined by special guests Johnny Erickson Tata, David Kim and John Patitucci, fusing Celtic, bluegrass, Americana, and classical music, as well as cultural dance and the choral sounds of the holiday. Keith and Kristen Getty's Irish Christmas show is built around their Christmas church music catalog, as well as their love of historic carols. Their songs are sung by an estimated 100 million people each year in churches and concert halls on every major continent. Build lifelong memories and celebrate the true story of Christmas by singing your faith with thousands of believers at Carnegie Hall December 20th. Tickets are available at the Carnegie Hall box office and Carnegie Charge at 212-247-7800. That's 212-247-7800, or visit carnegiehall.org. For 20% ticket discount, use promo code PRE27520.
You're unique. You don't walk like everyone, talk like everyone, or sleep like everyone. So why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a truly customized mattress would cost you $5,000 to $10,000. Until now, go to HillockSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we'll run a 3D biomechanical model of your body through the proprietary algorithms we developed with the help of the world's leading ergonomics and biomechanics experts. The result? The most comfortable mattress you've ever slept on. Hillock's customers report a 30% improvement in overall sleep quality. And for couples, we customize each side of the mattress. Your mattress arrives at your door in about a week, and shipping is completely free. That's why everyone from GQ Magazine to Forbes is talking all about Helix Sleep. You've got 100 nights to try it out, and if you don't love it, we'll pick it up for free and give you a full refund, no questions asked. Go to HelixSleep.com/Prager and get $50 off your order. That's HelixSleep.com/Prager. HelixSleep.com/Prager.
Futures and options trading involves financial risk. It is not suitable for all investors.
Fire the stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Scott Bauer, and I've been on the trading floor for 25 years. I traded for Goldman Sachs in the S&P 500 pit and was the first Amazon market maker at the CBOE. I am also the senior market strategist here at Trading Advantage, the leading educational firm teaching people how to become professional traders. Now, for a limited time, I am offering one of the trading techniques used by thousands of our students every day to help build their financial future. Get started right now by calling 1-800-288-0092. Leave your email address on my voicemail, and I'll email you my free trading technique and the Trading Advantage Daily Market Report at no cost to you. Again, 1-800-288-0092. That's 1-800-288-0092.
When you need legal assistance, call Dan Buttafuoco and Associates. They'll show you care and compassion. 1-800-NOW-HURT. That's 1-800-NOW-HURT.
Wait a minute. We three kings of Orient time, bearing gifts, we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star.
If it's happening in New York or across the globe, learn why it matters first on Kevin McCullough Radio.
Of course, our hearts are still going out to the victims of that terrible train derailment in Washington State today. So our thoughts and prayers with the victims there. And we continue. Any significant new details, we'll make sure you have them. Kevin McCullough Radio, glad you're with us. Breaking news, what it means, why it matters. Well, over the weekend, it was announced on Speaker Paul Ryan's website, speaker.gov, that the Republicans in the Senate and the House had figured out what they wanted to agree upon for the tax bill. This is a big deal to get them to agree on this, because that means it could be on its way to the president's desk and even possibly signed before Christmas, which is next Monday. But will that happen? We want to get David Fisher's take on all this, because he is our guest for Money Mondays. He's the CEO of Landmark Capital and has a great newsletter that you should subscribe to. But if you haven't, you need to get this new copy, The Fed's Influence, a Benefit or a Bubble. We'll talk more about that in the days to come as well. But David, good to have you back. Real quickly, what is your take on the reconciled language of the tax bill? And what do you think? Is it good for America, good for Americans?
Well, the final tax bill leans heavily toward tax cuts for corporations and business owners, but the final does get revised from originally what was passed in the House and Senate for individual taxpayers. So it's a benefit. Nobody got exactly what they want, and that's the way it's finally working. I like to see that we get something passed, and I think it's going to be a benefit for Americans and America, not every American. The people that are in the SALT states like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, some of those are not going to individuals are not going to benefit from this. So it's not a one shoe that fits all. I think they're missing the boat though on, think about this, how much work had gone into this, and I like that. But they're on the tax side, it's still raising the deficit, $1.5 trillion, $1.46 to be exact, by the Joint Committee on Taxation. I want to see something that lowers our debt. I'm still very uneasy because we're not hearing, what about our children? What about our grandchildren? You're not hearing that verbiage or talk anymore, and yet we're still enamored with the stock market, which I love the market. I'm not down against it, but the same rhetoric and passion should come towards our debt, and that's what concerns me. We're kind of ignoring that now again.
Yeah, and you've talked a lot about that, the fact that deficits will exist and that there will be those things. I mean, economists will explain it in different ways, and I happen to believe that some of the new revenues produced will help correct that, but that's assuming that you can get Congress to apply the new revenues to the debt as it stands and not try to come up with new things to spend that money on when it does increase those. And because of that, the debt ceiling extension now becomes even more important. What's your take on where that goes?
Well, it's being overshadowed by the tax bill, and ironically, the same day that President Trump wants to sign that is the same day they have to have either another extension to surpass the previous 2-week suspension or extension, or we got to come to an agreement. And I think it's too close in one day to come to an agreement. If we do, I think that's really remarkable that Congress came together with all the things of the focus on the aftermath of the tax bill. So I don't see that happening. I see either a short-term extension and hopefully not a government shutdown.
Well, and you know that neither party is going to be the one that goes, okay, we're holding out. Not at this point, because once December 31st rolls over, you're into election 2018, baby. I mean, it's all about getting the votes out at that point.
I think there is some concern in the marketplace that they might not get this done. It's not talked about, though, because if they don't deal with it now, we're going to have some big problems in January. You're exactly right on that, Kevin.
Yeah. Speaking of the markets, the Fed raised rates 1/4 point just this last time, and gold shot up. I've talked to a couple of other economic guys, and they seem to believe that the Fed is likely to even raise them again. If so, how soon? What will happen? What should we keep in mind if they do?
Well, Janet Yellen committed in her speech last week that they're going to raise rates 4 times in 2018, a full percentage, 1/4 point each time. There might be even more rates than that because the economic data shows that it's very healthy and we can, have these rate hikes. The stock market didn't kind of look the other way a little bit. It pulled back a hair. Gold shot up, which means that this is going to become more inflationary, and inflationary environments historically are not good for stocks, but really good for gold. And there are a lot of people coming out that have nothing to do with gold. Analysts are now saying now's the time to be looking at this market and be putting some funds into it.
Yeah, no, I think that you're right. And when you brought to our attention last week a lot of the fund managers, bond managers, hedge fund managers, billionaires, all saying we've got a correction looming on the horizon, and we've had a great year, everything's up, but it's not going to last forever.
CNBC had a poll last week. 70% of the respondents, so these are investors, say the likelihood of a 10% correction is coming soon in the market. So there's a lot of people believing that.
People hear the term 10% and they think, oh, that's like my tithe. No, that's an earthquake. You do a 10% correction, that's worse than the last couple of corrections that we've had, isn't it?
Well, we've had a small one a couple of years ago, but it wasn't a 10%, and we moved far past that. The biggest one has been in 2008, but we typically have a greater than a 10% correction or greater, a normal correction in every 7 years, and we're long past that time frame. So this is why people like Vanguard, the chief economist, Joe Davis, came out and said, we will have a significant downturn in the marketplace. So keep that in mind. A manager of assets of $5 trillion, Vanguard is saying, get ready for a 10% correction or greater next year.
Well, friends, one of the reasons I love having David is because he offers information that will help you be prepared. And not only that, this big year-end discount, David, if people want to get into metals, this is the perfect time of year, and this may be the perfect year to try that out. Talk about what the year-end discount includes.
Well, imagine buying stocks at 3% to 30% discount. That's what the metal markets are doing right now, and we pass the savings off to our clients. So if you ever thought about investing or want to add more, this is the perfect time of year, and they can call our company to learn about that. It's not a gimmick. There's no pressure or anything. We just want to educate you. And so if you're thinking about doing this, is a great opportunity to take advantage of metals to diversify.
Yeah, especially if it's 3 to 30% off between now and the end of the year. Friends, call them up, 844-604-2575, or online at landmarkgold.com, and sign up for the newsletter. Get the newsletter. The Fed's Influence, a benefit or a bubble. There's also, I got wind of this, a new white paper coming from David soon that's going to be well worth checking out. Ask about that when you call. 844-604-2575, 844-604-2575, or landmarkgold.com. David, we'll see you next week.
It's no surprise that pastors trust and constantly recommend Dan Buttafuoco's office to personal injury victims.
Pastor Larry, a really wonderful human being, has a really great church, and his main focus is feeding the homeless. Pastor Larry was walking from the church one day, and he was in the crosswalk when he was hit by a school bus, very badly injured. The school bus driver claimed he was only doing 3 miles an hour, but we knew from the fact that the Freightliner logo was imprinted on his arm that could not possibly be the case. So we were able to prove that the bus was going much faster. The case settled for close to $5 million after the initial offer was $200,000.
What makes Buttafuoco and Associates different is they serve their clients beyond the case. They help accident victims rebuild their lives. For a free evaluation of your case, call 1-800-NOW-HURT. 1-800-669-4878. That's 1-800-669-4878.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Tired and stressed out at work? Do you ever think, man, I could use a massage? Well, BodyWorks for Your Health is here to remedy all workplace stress. As New York's #1 health fair, employee wellness, and corporate massage company, you can't go wrong scheduling an Employee Appreciation Day with them. Now through December 24th, enter to win one of many prizes by visiting bodyworksforyourhealth.com or calling 646-565-0711 to get your company entered. 646-565-0711 or bodyworksforyourhealth.com.
This is Jerry Boyer for townhall.com. The Senate version of tax reform has a hidden problem which needs to be addressed. It would greatly increase the tax burden on companies which are in debt. When a company expands operations by, say, building a factory, they usually borrow the money to do it. The tax code has always allowed businesses to take the cost of that borrowing into account when they calculate their profit, for the sensible reason that it is a cost of doing business. Tax reform is cutting that back, and the Senate version is cutting it back severely, especially for companies that own a lot of heavy equipment such as miners and manufacturers, exactly the type of companies that we're trying to revive as part of the Trump growth agenda. If we get this wrong, During the next downturn, we may well see an epidemic of high growth and heavy equipment companies driven into bankruptcy by their inability to pay their old debt and their new taxes on it at the same time. I'm Jerry Boyer.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light.
Obliterating confusion, amplifying truth, and pursuing clarity. It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
All right, Kevin McCullough, thank you for hanging with us on this Monday. 1 week from today, hopefully you're with family and friends and being able to reflect upon the wonderfulness of what we're going through. In my household, we will be celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ and doing that with people that we love, and always grateful for those warm moments in this time of year. Also, that's a good reminder that if you have not yet signed up for the Lord's Diamonds Christmas Diamond Contest, you gotta register, because at the end of the week is when we draw the names. So if you've not yet done that, drop me an email, kmcradio@gmail.com. Put Diamond in the subject line, and then give me your mailing address, your phone number, and full name in the body of the email, and we'll register you for that drawing that we will be making at the end of this week. kmcradio@gmail.com, kmcradio@gmail.com. You can also call Alex at 888-340-3373. Give him the same information, and he can register you there as well. All right, I was perusing through the westernjournal.com earlier today. Robert Donashi wrote this piece: Wealthy New York City elites preparing to flee the state because the Republican tax bill is going to make them face the full brunt of Mayor de Blasio and Democrat state leadership's tax rates. Everybody I speak to brings this up. Every NYC resident I speak to asks about this. Wall Street tax expert Robert Willens told Yahoo Finance. Says, I've been doing this for more than 40 years. I've never heard more discussion about relocating than recently. Wealthy New Yorkers can currently lower their federal tax table income by more than $100,000 through a provision of the tax code known as the State and Local Tax Deduction, or SALT. The SALT deduction in the Manhattan area is about $60,000, but the new plan, which allows you to keep some of those deductions, amounts to about $10,000 per person, which means the really, really wealthy New Yorkers will not be able to write off their expensive real estate and other taxes that they pay on the state and local level. So their solution, the people that can, what are they going to do? They're going to move away. Friends, I want you to think about this. The mayor and the governor could do something about this. Wouldn't it be better to leave those people in our area and reduce their taxes and let their economic activity help bless our area, rather than to just ship all of them beyond state lines? I do, but I doubt that Trenton or Albany will ever get the message. I'll see you next time.